Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Electronics Maddie. Today we're going to see various worked examples on KVL and KCL. We'll be solving three examples in this lecture. First example will be solved by using KCL and KVL. Second one will be solved by only using KVL, and the third example will be solved only by using KCL. Once you solve all these three problems, it will give you a great confidence in solving any other problems related to this. So let's get started. So our first problem is to find the value of current I for this given network. So whenever they're given the network with the direction of current I indicated, we are not supposed to change anything with respect to the given directions. So be very careful with this step. So first and foremost step is to redraw the network indicating currents and nodes. This is one of the most important steps that should be followed in each and every problem. This will give you a great analytical vision of how to solve these problems and how to approach these type of problems. So I have given the directions of current. The direction of 5 amperes is in this direction. So I have numbered, labeled that as I1, and I've given the direction that is same as that given here. So the second one is with respect to this current I is already given. The direction is in upward direction. So it's according to this. I've numbered and labeled it according to the given data. And this one usually with respect to the convention I have followed, whenever the current is there, if you're labeling a node, I've considered the current to be living. So later on, if you are getting a negative value, you can change the direction of current. So the assumption here with respect to node A is I have assumed that the current is living. So now what will be our first step? We have a convention that is already discussed. Current entering will be taken as positive with respect to a particular node, and current living will be taken as negative with respect to particular node. One of the most important observation with respect to the given question is I1 is given as 5 amps. So how do we approach in order to find the value of current I? First step is to apply KCL at node A. So this is node A. We will be applying KCL over here. So how do we apply KCL? So current I1 is entering this node. That means we have to take it as positive. So we'll be writing plus I1. Now with respect to I, it's again entering, so we'll be writing it as plus I. And with respect to node A, this current I2 is leaving, so it's negative, so we'll be writing minus I2. And the algebraic sum of the currents is always equal to 0. That is according to Kirchhoff's current law. In case you missed out the theory portion of it, you can watch those videos and continue with the problems. The link of that video is given in our video description, so please do follow it. So this can be further simplified as I2 is equal to I1 plus I. So this can be again written as I2 is equal to 5 plus I, because the value of I1 is given as 5 amps. So what is our next step? We will be applying KVL to loop A, B, C, D. So how do we go about it? So with respect to A, B, C, D, we will be starting off with respect to this point. From A to B, there are no elements or components. So from B to C, we have one component. From positive to negative, the current is, we are assuming the loop in this direction. So A, B, C, D, from positive to negative. So it's going at negative point. So that means we have to take minus 8. That is our assumed convention, which is discussed in our previous videos. So next step is again current is entering at this point and living. When it is living, it's at plus terminal, so we'll be taking it as plus 5. Next, again when it is going at this particular point, we'll be taking it as minus and plus. So when the current is living with respect to the resistor, it is plus, so we'll be taking it as plus 5 I2. So this is nothing but the voltage V is given as I into R. We know the value of R, we have substituted as 5, and I2 is the current, so we have written it in terms of Ohm's law. We expanded this directly because we don't know the voltage value. In these two cases we already knew the voltage values because they are voltage sources. Now we will be simplifying this expression. We will be getting I2 is equal to 3 by 5 amps. Since we know I2 and we know I1, now by using equation 1 we can find the value of I directly. So what I've done is I is taken as 3 by 5 minus 5. Substituting and rearranging this equation, you'll be arriving at this point, and you can find the value of I from this. So I is equal to minus 4.4 amps. So what does negative sign indicate here, and what does it convey? It conveys that the current is not in the upward direction, it is in the downward direction. The analogy with respect to the given data is not the suitable assumption of having the current in the upward direction. So that means the current is flowing in the opposite direction. That is the only observation with respect to this problem. However, we have found out the value of I as minus 4.4 amps using both KCL and KVL in this first problem. So let's go into our next problem. So in this problem, they've asked us to find the power dissipated in 5 ohm resistor. So looking at this, we only have two loops. If you look at this, this is one loop and this is one loop. So looking at the circuit, you will be able to analyze which to be applied, either KVL or KCL. So that will happen only through experience. You have to solve a lot of problems, but in this case, to show you a suitable demonstration, we will be applying KVL. So first step, as indicated in our previous problem, we have to redraw the network indicating currents and nodes. So this is our redrawn network. We will be assuming the directions of the resistor, the magnitude and its sign with respect to the currents entering and leaving. So I have written I1 as loop 1 and I2 is the current flowing through loop 2. I have assumed both to be in the same direction. Always follow one particular convention. If you are assuming it to flow in the opposite direction, you have to follow it for both. So be very careful with this step. Your assumption is valid, however, you have to assume it properly. So once you have this in hand, we can get started with our application of KVL. So the step 2 is to apply KVL to loop ABCD. So with respect to loop A, B, C, D, we'll be applying the KVL. So with respect to A to B, so we have the current is entering at positive and leaving at negative. So we will be writing it as we'll be starting it from this particular point, that is with respect to A and D. So the current is entering at minus and it is leaving at plus. So we'll be writing plus 20, and now the current is entering at plus and it is leaving at minus with respect to 10 ohm resistor. So we'll be writing it as minus 10 I1. So again, Ohm's law expansion, that is V is equal to IR, we have written in that way. Now again, current is entering positive and leaving minus, so we'll be writing it as minus 10 volt. Again, when you come to this point, this is a very important point, that is with respect to BC, current is entering and leaving at negative, so the value of resistance is 1 ohm. However, there is another current flowing as well, so we can write it as I1 minus I2 because we are writing it with respect to loop 1. So we'll always write I1 at the beginning and I2 at the secondary side. So we'll be writing it in this form. Whenever we are doing it for loop 2, I'll show you how that will be done as well. So once this is done, this is equal to 0 because this is according to KVL. Algebraic sum of EMFs in loop is equal to 0, or the sum of EMFs is equal to the voltage drop across each of the resistive elements that are there. So once this is done, our next step is to try and simplify this as far as possible. We will be arriving at an equation like 11I1 minus I2 is equal to 10. This is equation 1. Our next step is to apply KVL to B, X, Y, C. So the current assumed current direction is in this word. So this is in clockwise direction. So we will be very careful with respect to our assumptions. So we will get started from here. If you see, the current is entering like with respect to loop 2, again whenever the current is entering, we'll write it as plus, and when the current is leaving with respect to resistive components, we'll be writing it as minus. So this is our followed assumption throughout all the problems that we are following, so be very careful. So minus 1 into I2 minus I1, because with respect to loop 2 we are writing it, so we have to write it as I2 minus I1 is in the direction opposite to the current in which I2 is flowing, so we'll be writing minus I1. So once this step is clear, remaining can be written very easily. So current is entering here and leaving at minus, so we'll be writing minus 5 volt, and again current is entering here and it is leaving at minus, so we'll be writing minus 5 I2. So which will again be equated to 0. Again simplifying this, we will be getting I1 minus 6 I2 is equal to 5. So solving 1 and 2, we will be straight away getting the values of I1 and I2. I2 is given to be minus 9 by 13 amps in this case. So we have found out the value of I2. The reason why we have found out the value of I1 and I2, but mainly we are concerned with respect to I2, is because we have to find the power dissipated in 5 ohm resistor. So 5 ohm resistor is with respect to current I2. So once we know current I2, we can find the power easily. So how we'll be finding it? So according to our formula, P is equal to I square R. We will be using I2 square with respect to the current here, and R is the resistive value that is there. With respect to 5 ohms, they've asked us, so we'll be substituting it as 5. So you will be getting 2.4 watts. So this is our answer. The power dissipated in 5 ohm resistor is 2.4 watts. In case you want to see more about how to derive the expression of P is equal to I square R, it's already done in our previous videos. Please do watch it. So this is the application of KVL with respect to a particular problem. The entire problem is solved using KVL. These two equations can be solved by using calculator right away, substituting it, or you can also do it with different techniques. With respect to mathematical analysis. So that's it for example 2. We'll go with our next example, that is with respect to KCL. In this problem, this is a very different problem, to be honest. Find the potential difference between the points P and Q is the question. So the points P and Q is nothing but these 2 points. I've not indicated it over here. However, I'll be redrawing it and showing it over here. So redraw the network indicating currents and nodes. That is our always our first step. So we'll be drawing it. So with respect to P and Q is means that they've asked us with respect to A and B. So that's not indicated here. Please make a note of it. So we will be assuming the nodes in this. We'll be applying KCL. So with respect to application of how to start off with this problem is that first up 10 volt is appearing at this point. So 10 volt is directly appearing at this point, write it as 10 volt. So we don't have to, if there is a resistive component, then we had to write something as V3 or something like that. Since the voltage is directly given at this point, we'll be taking it as 10 volt. Now we don't know the voltage at node A, so we'll be writing it as V1. If we don't know the voltage of at node B, we'll be writing it as V2. We will be taking a reference point always for any application of a circuit. There should be a reference point, so you will be taking it as 0 volt in this case. So we will be applying KCL, and one of the most important steps is that with respect to all of these nodes, I have considered the current is leaving the particular node. So if you are assuming it is coming towards a particular node, you will have to assume it throughout the problem. If you are assuming it is living, then you have to assume it throughout the problem. So uniformity should be there, otherwise you might go wrong in the steps that are followed. So again, convention, current entering a node is taken as positive, current leaving is taken as negative. So let's get started with the step of applying KCL. So I'll be applying KCL at node A at this particular point. So how we'll be applying? So we know the from Ohm's law, I is equal to V by R. So similarly, with respect to KCL, at node A, I1 is leaving, I2 is leaving. So that means minus I1 minus I2, and 2 amps is also leaving at this point. So minus I1 minus I2 minus 2 is equal to 0. That is the application. So instead of that, I1 can be written as like in form of V by R, we can write I1 as V1 minus 0 volt. Okay, it's minus because the current is leaving. So write minus V1 minus 0 volt divided by the resistance value, that is 8 ohm. So again, next is there is current called I2. We will be writing it with respect to I2. V1 minus 10 volt whole divided by 2. The resistor value is 2 ohms here. Similarly, there is a current living, that is 2 amps at node A. We'll be writing minus 2 is equal to 0. Once you are clearly aware of this step, the application or simplification of this problem is very, very simple, trust me. So next step is to try and simplify this equation, and we'll be getting V1 as 4.8 volt. Next step is to apply KCL at node B. There are only two nodes with respect to which we have two unknown parameters, V1 and V2. If we know V1 and V2, we can find the potential difference between the points P and Q, that is nothing but A and B in this case. So from Ohm's law, again, like we'll apply KCL at this point. That means how do we apply it? Minus, because I3 is living current over here, so minus V2 minus 0 whole divided by 6. 6 is the value of resistor. Again, we'll be writing minus because I4 is also assumed to be living. So V2 minus 10 volt divided by 4 ohm because the resistance value is 4, plus 2 because current I2 current 2 amps at this point with respect to node B is entering. So according to our convention, it is positive. So we'll be writing plus 2 is equal to 0. Now we will be simplifying this in this form. We will be getting V2 value directly. So V2 is equal to 10.8 volt. So now the potential difference between these 2 points, that is A and B, is the question. So we'll be finding it out as the difference between V1 and V2. So V1 minus V2 will give you the potential difference, which is minus 6 volt. So what does that indicate? that is nothing but V2 is higher than V1. So that is what it is trying to say, the final analysis. So with respect to VAB or VPQ for that matter. So this is simple analysis of KCL. Similarly, a lot of problems are available with respect to this. So suitably selecting which to be applied, KCL and KVL, you will be getting it to know by solving a lot of problems. So if you have any questions with respect to the questions that we have solved today, or if you have any questions with respect to any other problems, please do let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching this video. If you like it, please do like it and subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Thank you.